So hey all, so we're back from ACFI, and it was our first time back in San Antonio for many years. It was our first Furry Con since TFF last year, so it's been a little over a year. And we didn't have any trouble navigating to San Antonio, but once we got there, we had a little bit of trouble finding the hotel. We'd never been there before, and it had a weird address. But I will say, insofar as all that goes, that we ran into a lot of traffic. There was a couple of accidents on the way that slowed us down by about an hour and a half. One multi-car accident, and also a 18-wheeler that had blocked some of the road, or all of the road maybe. And because of that, we got to San Antonio right during rush hour. So it was a longer trip there than we had anticipated. We were expecting to be in San Antonio by 3:30, and we got there closer to 5. The hotel was nice. It was a little bit smaller than I had expected. It was one of those hotels that has a decent amount of space for a small convention, but not really suited for furry cons, which tend to work best with spaces with a lot of places to hang out, a lot of places to sit, and a lot of open areas. There was the ground level had a lot of the main amenities: headless lounge, registration, a couple of places to hang out. There was a restaurant, the fitness area, which I went to a fair bit, which surprised me, and let's see. There was the elevators, and of course the stairs led up to the second level, which on one end of this long hallway had a couple of panel rooms and a game room, and on the other end it had the dealer's room, which was broken up into 3 separate rooms and an adult room. And the I guess the con charity space was at the top of the stairs. Now, I don't really know how many people were there. I might have to look it up later, but we were looking for smaller conventions because the big ones had kind of gotten a little bit overwhelming for us. So we were hoping that a smaller convention would fit the bill. And I mean, I kind of think that ideally for us, somewhere in the middle is probably the best, because ACFI seemed like it was a little too cozy. The second floor was very difficult to maneuver. If you were in fursuit, there weren't a lot of places to go to take pictures. We got some good ones. We got about 100 photos, I guess, of us and of me in suit. Shrag did not suit because he wasn't sure he would be able to maneuver in an unfamiliar building, and I kind of think that it would have been tricky. I mean, we would have made it work if he had decided to do so, but it was a very tight hotel. So I mean, I don't really necessarily think we would go back if it was in the same building. If next time the con moves to a larger building, maybe. We'll see. We had adjoining rooms with a friend of ours, and we had a good time. Really, that's about all I can say. We had a good time. It was a nice little convention, and I don't know if I would go back. I mean, there really wasn't much to talk about. I didn't suit a lot. I fursuited once a day because, I mean, part of it was me wanting to fursuit again and find the joy in it, and I think I did. And part of the problem was that I used to think, like, at the older conventions, it's like I would try and suit a requisite amount whether I really wanted to or not, and I think that kind of ended up being backfiring on me. But I think that fursuiting once a day in the afternoon really seemed to work pretty well. I don't know if that's all I'll do or if that'll change depending on the convention, but it was enough for me at the time, so I think it was good. I took Topaz because I know she fits. And as I mentioned in my last video, I'm contemplating reducing the number of suits I have, and possibly looking to update 1 or 2 and just kind of refining my collection, kind of like I've been doing with everything else around here. And as far as all that goes, that's all progress. It's like, did I enjoy ACFI? Yeah, I did. It was not my favorite convention. It was a good hotel. The staff did a good job. I I think we enjoyed ourselves. And like I said, going back, I think maybe in a few years if it's upgraded to a larger building. But for right now, we're kind of, I guess, floating a little bit, because I know that I want to keep doing Star Trek Las Vegas. That doing the Star Trek Con, the annual Star Trek Con, is very important to me. I know it's very important to Shrag, and I really think that it is something that we're going to be doing definitely for the foreseeable future. At some point, I think I might alternate to every other year, perhaps. We'll see if and when we get to that, because whenever we get around to taking an international trip, it'll probably knock Star Trek Las Vegas off the schedule for that year at least. But we're not there yet. We'll wait and see. But I do want to say that as far as cons, it's like I had a good time. We did a bunch of fursuiting and tried a couple restaurants, some of which were hits, some of which were misses. There were a few places to eat in walking distance. We had a couple meals we had one meal at Saltgrass, which is like a chain that they have down here, and a couple of meals at Cheddar's. We had some food at the hotel restaurant, and we stopped a lot for stuff at the hotel store, which was a convenient little place to pick up some things. Let's see, what else is there to say? The trip back was pretty easy. On both the trip up and trip back, we stopped at a restaurant called Schloebel's, which had Schloebel's. It had a buffet, which was pretty good, so we did that. And definitely, if we head to San Antonio again in the future, we will probably stop there. And I think that's really it. I mean, ACFI was a good convention. Not a lot to write home about. Nothing really too spectacular or out of the ordinary. I did think that what I might consider next year is possibly doing MFM next year. Timber has asked us to go a number of times, and I'm considering it because I know a couple of people we know go to that con. Timber and Seaweed. I know Tarek is usually there, and also a friend of ours and their cluster are usually there when it's doing well. It's a small, semi-familiar building that we've been to once before. It is relatively wide hallways. It usually is not too crowded. I think that the con is kind of kept small that way on purpose. And we'll see. But right now it's a tentative maybe. I may be attending TFF if I can figure out if I can finish this book and figure out how to do our selling. I might be selling there, so it's a possibility I will be at TFF. I need to look into that, but that's future me. I guess for right now that's it for ACFI. I'll probably post a couple of maybe some separate videos if I have enough. I haven't really looked at the video footage I have, so I can really be talking to those things necessarily, but. Overall, ACFI gets a passing grade, and I will see you at the next convention.
If you like werewolves, check out my book Blue Moon, available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, click the subscribe button and leave a comment below. See you next time.